Hey y'all, welcome back to Hopped Up Beer Review. Today we are drinking Double Mosaic Dream from Other Half Brewing Company out of Washington, D.C. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give your unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer that we are drinking and reviewing. We are back to do that once again. We appreciate you checking out this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, cheers to that notification bell. It takes just a second to do, and it really helps out the channel, so we would appreciate that. I've got Jay, I've got Andy in the attic. Gentlemen, what are we drinking today?
It's kind of hard to see with the glare, but it's the Double Mosaic Dream. So sometimes you gotta dream in color, right? What is this, Ben? You gonna zoom?
My camera thinks I'm zooming in.
Oh, the joys of technology.
Who's the loser?
There we go.
Yes, look at
Hold the
that.
L on my head. There you go.
That is funny.
I got a new camera. Still working out the kinks. So
You like it for its kink. That's why.
you know, I am in the tech industry, so
At least you think you are.
yeah. Most days I don't want to be. Let's put it that way.
That looks pretty.
It's a dream.
I like to dream. I just never remember them.
What's your glass say, Ben?
Idle Hounds.
Oh, cool.
Where's that? Where are they from?
30A, Florida. Destin, close by.
Yep. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Yummy.
Wow. Before I start yapping, it's interesting knowing what they've put in here, and that's the flavor that emerges.
I've got a couple of things that I'll mention. It might throw you for a loop. But.
Okay. So Double Mosaic Dream. It's an Imperial IPA, 8.5%. Uses Mosaic hops, Mosaic Cryo, Mosaic Incognito, and it is double dry hop. Has notes of blueberry, mango, and orange. That combination, just throwing the blueberry in there, and I was able to pick that out after, from Throw me for a loop, Jay.
So the first sip I took, and I've had an IPA or two like this before, but it almost gives you a bubblegum flavor. And it's a unique flavor. I don't know if it's one of the Mosaic hops that does that, but there is a beer that Abita makes. It's a bubblegum IPA, and I'm not sure if there's a relation here, but that was the first sip that I had, and then it kind of goes into like what you're talking about, some of that mango blueberry, but it is a different flavor knowing what all goes into it.
I've heard other beer tubers mention the bubblegum flavor. I think going into the first sip of this, I'm not even thinking about that as even an option. So it didn't hit me that way. And I don't know that I pulled that out of it, but I'd love to hear that next time that you think that's going to be something we may get. So I can think about it ahead of time.
Well, I didn't know until I took the first sip. Because I honestly haven't had this one. This is the first time I've had this one, which is a rarity for most other halves. But
Fair enough.
As mentioned, Other Half Brewing Company originated in Brooklyn, New York, but this was actually canned in Washington, D.C. It's a regional brewery founded in 2014. I was looking at the site, they have 7 locations.
7 locations, and I think they brew at 3, if I'm not mistaken. I think in Brooklyn, DC, and Philadelphia. But DC is where they have a good bit. Not DC, New York, is because they've got the Brooklyn tap room and brewery. Then they have one at Rockefeller Center, and then they have another one in New York at the Finger Lakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is that our information for this particular
That's all I'm
one?
going to give you. That's all I'm giving you.
Andy, do you know if this is a year-round? I couldn't recall if it is or not. I mean, they're pretty particular about the way they change them out.
They're year-round. It did not appear in their year-round listing.
Okay. I see it a good bit when I go through there. It's usually on draft and or in the cans too.
This is part of their Daydream series.
Yeah,
there's a lot on there.
So you did have more for us.
No, he had mentioned that already.
I mentioned that before we started recording.
Right. Yeah.
Or after I was flubbing the intro.
All right. Anybody had this one in particular? Nobody. All right. We all know what that means. Jay, what do you think?
This is an interesting one to me. Like I said, that first bit it caught me off guard. Almost had that bubblegum type flavor, and it's kind of morphed more into the flavor profile that it alludes to. It's still almost a little more creamy to me, and it feels heavier than some of the other ones we usually get from the other half. And it's pretty pretty good haze throughout there, so at least in mine. It's a tough one for me because I usually like a lot of the Mosaic hops, but this one, to me, the mixture is not as much on point. It's still a great beer, but I think I'm going to have to go with probably a 7.5 on this one.
All right. Andy in Said Attic, what say you?
Sad Attic.
Not sad.
Aforementioned.
Attic.
The aforementioned Attic. What's so sad about this?
No, not sad Attic. No.
Oh, okay. It stores things. It's got recreation behind me.
Attic tours are still in swing, right? I mean, you had a high the other day. I heard of the most visitors to the attic.
A high?
Yeah. Right.
1?
No, I mean, it had to at least be 2 because you're in there all the time.
Well, I'm not a visitor, like newcomers. So.
Fair enough. True.
Let's say you can't leave until you beat me in ping pong back there. That's part of the attic tour.
Man, if somebody would have just popped up from the back there, that'd have been great right there.
That would have been awesome.
For you.
Just have somebody pop up and wait.
Yeah, I still can't leave. I've been here 10 days. I can't beat this guy.
We should do better planning on the show. All right. What do you think, Andy?
Let's talk about the beer again. Jay, I agreed because it's the first thing that I thought. I was like, well, this is creamy. This is like almost like like it almost had lactose in it, like a pastry IPA type of thing. And then that blend of flavors, and the one that's stands out that's apparent that throws me off, and we've discussed this in the past, is the blueberry. Adding blueberry to beer. And I think I'm just not the biggest blueberry in a beer kind of guy. But fortunately, it's such a good enough beer that the other parts of it, the mango, the orange, that hazy, creamy feel, and being double dry hopped, it salvages it. So I was thinking the exact same thing, a 7.5. And this eight as being an 8.5, and we recently did the all citra everything was an 8.5. This just feels so much heavier.
Yeah.
Than that one did.
And it shows to me the difference. I mean, because oftentimes we don't know, and you can't single out the difference between the hops, but when you use all of one version versus the other, like I think we've had one that was all New Zealand and, or all Nelson. I've had some of those, but you can distinguish the different types of flavors, and so
be a full Nelson.
All right. I feel like we really should have like a newlywed game episode here, because I want to hold up my little sign that says creamy on it, because that was exactly the word that I thought of with the first couple of sips here. It definitely is creamy, and I don't get the blueberry. I can't pull that out, but definitely, mango ish a little bit. Orange. I mean, it has that citrus for me. I never got bubble gum that I know of, but again, I wasn't like really looking for that going into it. So, I have to keep an eye out for that. Tongue out for that. I don't know, but all in all, it exactly what you guys are saying. It's a heavy beer for 8.5%. I mean, it's weighted. It just goes back to that creamy feel. There are a lot of IPAs that I don't get why you're all laughing. A lot of IPAs that I like, but I don't necessarily have to have again. I don't have anything. There's nothing wrong with this beer. It's a good beer. I enjoy it, but I'm not going to go searching for it. Right? I mean, so I do like the creaminess. I like the flavor. The heaviness is a little too much, but anyway, I digress. I'm going to give this one a 7. I like it overall.
That's actually not a bad score for you.
I know. I like it overall, but I guess what I'm getting at is, and I have this with other beers too. I like the beer, but if I'm going out and I'm seeing this on the shelf, I'm not picking it up again. I've had it. I can move on, right? It's a good beer, but it's not. I'd rather try something new than have this one, and it's not necessarily good enough that I want to get it over something new, or maybe something else I've had that I like better. I guess that's ultimately what I'm trying to say.
You guys know me. I mean, I go through tons of singles. That's
yeah.
I want to try as many different things, and I'll come back to a few. But if you ever look in my fridge, most of the time you're gonna find single beers.
Yeah, and I guess that's where this one, and a lot of beers kind of fall in that realm for me. But this one is a good beer. You should try it. Definitely, other half. We've had a lot of great beer from them. So I think this one is worth picking up if you see it for sure. But for me, it's one of those that, hey, I'm glad we tried it. I'll drink it again if and enjoy it if I get handed it, but I'm not going to go seek it out.
And I don't think you could drink 3 or 4 of these with as heavy as it feels and tastes. I mean, it's like when you eat a heavy meal, like a big burger with an egg and bacon and avocado on it.
You get all that, yeah.
It would.
Is that why I'm so full right now?
Yeah.
If you had one of these, this is kind of your one and done night. If you're just having one beer, this is a good one to have. But
yeah, it's high enough ABV, and you get that fullness from a beer. I agree with you 100% there. This would be a good one. Yeah, if you're gonna eat a very large burger, some fries, all that to go with it. Yeah, Andy's about to explode over there. We picked a good one for him to suffer through here for
Let's
this
end the night on this
review.
one.
So,
It's a bad choice.
that will be a 7.3 for the very creamy, the very heavy double Mosaic Dream. I don't even know what the name of this beer is.
Yeah, you got
Double
it right.
Mosaic. I got it right. Wow. I didn't even think I did.
You knocked it out of the park.
There we go. Definitely, again, as we said, one you should check out and let us know what you think, especially if you've had it. So, I mean, if you're FLX Beer Reviews and you've had every other half beer known to man, then, you know, hey, what did you guys think of this one? I guess we can just go watch a review. Put that link down below in the description. So with that, be sure to like, subscribe, cheers to that notification bell. Again, that helps the channel and we would appreciate it. Andy gets giddy every time there's a new subscriber. So go ahead and
He does.
subscribe.
Yeah.
So, and he's depressed for days if you unsubscribe. So please don't do that.
Yes. Please.
Check us out on all the social media links down below in the description. Come say hi in our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. We would love to see you there. It's a chat room. You can chat with the three of us and the others who have joined us. Let us know what we're doing right, wrong, or otherwise, and we'd appreciate that feedback. And lastly, you have any interest in any Hopped Up Beer Review merch like this shirt, Chase Glass, you can check that out, the link below, and grab something from our store. That's all I got. Randy in the attic and Jay, I'm Ben.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates. Andy, you need to slap yourself a couple times. You're not going to make it.
I'm going to a food coma.
Come on now. Finish her off. Chug, chug, chug.